How can the world view the Palestinians as an honest partner in peace when you're naming squares after terrorists and you're glorifying terrorists and paying their families salaries?
The answer is very simple. They are not terrorists. And by the way, Israel's concentration on this matter is only a way of distracting the world and yourself as media people from the most important reality on the ground. The three main issues that were missing in all the speeches made the last 2 days were the issue of Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, which has transformed into a system of apartheid. The issue of Israeli
hold on. We're going to break down a few of these things. I let you go for a second here. I'm going to start this with what you said in an op-ed, which is basically what you just said here. Last month, entitled "Who Are the Killers?" was the op-ed. The Palestinian fighters are not killers. They fight for freedom and they celebrate life and hope. They are willing to sacrifice their lives for the sake of their people's freedoms. Why should the Israelis negotiate with you and your organization when, by your own words, you're glorifying the people who blow up their buses and who attack them? That doesn't seem to be the basis of a peace deal.
Most of the Palestinians in Israeli prisons today, the 6,500 prisoners, are not killers and have not even committed violent actions. Most of them have peacefully and politically struggled for their freedom. You could ask the question in a different way. How could we negotiate with Israelis who committed massacres like Sabra and Shatila or the Yassin massacre? People like
the Israelis will say, hold on, Doctor, the Israelis will say, and frankly, most people who live in the factual world would agree, they've offered you almost 95% of what you want, and you still won't take it. We only got 20 seconds before we get cut off by the computer, so I'm going to let you answer that question when we come back with more from Ramallah. Thank you, sir. And we are back with Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, member of the Palestinian Parliament, joining us from Ramallah, perhaps making the point about just how difficult this is, sir, to get a deal, as one man's terrorist is truly another man's freedom fighter in the Middle East. I'll ask this question a little bit different rather than arguing over who is not a terrorist. What concessions can the Palestinians bring to the table? What olive branches, there's a lot of olive trees in the Middle East, what olive branches can you extend to the Israelis to try and actually make a deal?
We're ready. We did that before. We're ready to do it again. We want peace that guarantees our freedom. The simple way to achieve peace is to end the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, allow Palestinians to live side by side with Israelis in peace, but also in freedom. We cannot be unfree and occupied by another army or another country and speak about peace. The way to peace is to end occupation, remove the settlements, and allow Palestinians to have their own independent and free state.
Okay, sir, I want to just sort of button this up.
We can achieve it.
I want to understand. Are you saying, though, that they have to remove the settlements and remove the occupation before you're willing to negotiate? Because my question was, what can you offer the Israelis to sit down at the negotiating table? What do you have to offer them? Just yesterday, the Israeli Security Cabinet approved some big economic olive branches to the Palestinians. What do you have to offer on the other side?
The Palestinians were ready always to sit down and negotiate. It was Mr. Netanyahu and his government that is refusing to negotiate. Mr. Abbas was ready to sit with him by a Russian invitation, an Egyptian invitation, a French invitation. And I ask you a question. Why couldn't Mr. Trump have a meeting today with the both leaders? I think because in Israeli government today you have ministers in Israeli government who say to Netanyahu, if you sit down with Palestinians, we'll bring down your government. It's the most extreme government in the history of Israel, with settlers sitting as cabinet ministers who are trying to not allow peace to happen at any price.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who would agree with you, even in Israel, that this is by far one of the most conservative, if not the most conservative government that has existed there. We're told the reason there was not that meeting between the Palestinian president, the prime minister, and the U.S. president was perhaps that they wanted to wait for that when there was a little more time to sit down there. Dr. Barghouti, we appreciate your insights, sir, and joining us. Depending on how this goes, we'll have a lot more to talk about. We'll see you back here.
Thank you.
All right. All the best.